Hey there! Have you ever been in a situation where someone who was once your biggest fan suddenly starts acting like you don't even exist? One minute they're replying to your messages, laughing at your jokes, and making plans for the future, and the next, radio silence. No text, no calls, no explanation. It's like you've just been erased from their life. Sounds familiar, right? It's almost like they vanished into thin air. And what do we do when that happens? What do you do when someone you care about stops communicating with you without any reason? Maybe, just maybe you start thinking, did I do something wrong? I get it. It's easy to fall into that trap, to question yourself and wonder if it's something you said or did. But here's the truth, it's not about you. It never was. When someone pulls away, it's often a choice they've made, and that choice has a lot more to do with them than with you. So what's going on? Why do people just suddenly stop engaging? Why do they pull away, leaving you feeling confused and frankly hurt? I want you to understand something that could change the way you view these situations. You don't need to take it personally. In fact, not taking it personally is where the real strength lies. Instead of looking inward, thinking you've done something wrong, the key is to look outward, look at why they pulled away, and use that understanding to rise above the situation. Here's a question for you. Have you ever tried to chase someone who started ignoring you? Have you ever sent those extra texts, double-checking if they're okay, or asked over and over again, what did I do wrong? I'm sure you have, just like all of us. But what if you stopped? What if instead of chasing, you took a step back and used the situation to reflect on your own strength and how you can grow from it? You see, the moment you stop letting their silence control you, you regain your power. Now, stick with me here because we're about to dive into the real reasons behind why people act like this. I'm going to share with you the truth about why people suddenly start ignoring you, and I promise by the end of this, you'll have a whole new perspective on how to handle situations like these with strength and confidence. But before we go any further, if this resonates with you and you want to keep learning about how to take control of your emotions and build real resilience, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to turn on notifications because you'll want to stay updated on everything we're about to dive into. All right, let's get into it. Why do people suddenly ignore you? Why does someone who seems so interested in your life one minute turn completely cold the next? The truth is, the reasons might surprise you. Let's start with a big one. They're testing your reaction. Have you ever felt like someone was playing a little emotional game with you? One minute they're engaged, replying to your messages almost instantly, laughing at your jokes and making plans. And then just like that, nothing. No text, no calls, no reply. It's like they've pulled away without any explanation. You might think, what did I do wrong? And I get it, it's confusing. You want to reach out, you want to fix it, but here's something important to understand. Sometimes this isn't about you at all. It's about them. Some people use silence as a way to test how much you care. They want to see how far you will go to get their attention back. It's a control tactic, plain and simple. The more you chase them, whether it's sending extra texts, asking why they've been distant, or over-explaining yourself, the more they feel like they have power over you. They're watching you. They want to see how you'll react. So here's the catch. The moment you start chasing them, you give them what they want. You give them control. It's like they've dropped the rope in a game of tug of war, and they're watching to see if you'll pull harder to prove how much you care. But what if you didn't pull at all? What if instead of chasing them, you just let the rope fall to the ground and walked away? That's the power of not reacting. You stop playing their game. When you refuse to chase after someone who is deliberately pulling away, you take back your power. You show them that their absence doesn't control your happiness. And that's when the dynamic shifts. Think about it. How many times have you found yourself chasing after someone who suddenly became distant? How did that make you feel? Did it make you feel more in control? Or did it leave you feeling drained, confused, and uncertain of your worth? Now imagine what would happen if you stopped reacting. Imagine what it would feel like to take back control of your own emotions and not let someone else's behavior dictate your mood. This is the power of understanding why people pull away. When you stop reacting to their silence, you're telling them that their absence doesn't define you. And trust me, they'll either step up and come back, or they'll realize they've lost the upper hand. Now, I know it's not always that simple, right? There's more going on under the surface, and in some cases, people pull away because they no longer need something from you. Let's dive into that reason. 2, they no longer benefit from you. Now, let's dive into another reason why people might suddenly start ignoring you. They no longer benefit from you. This one can be tough to accept, but trust me, it's something we all face at some point. Some people are only around as long as they're getting something from you. It could be emotional support, advice, your time, or maybe just your presence when they need someone to lean on. Think about it. Have you ever had someone in your life who seemed to care about you, but only when they needed something? They'd reach out when they were down or when they were facing a challenge, but when their situation was good, they disappeared without a word. Sound familiar? When they're receiving what they need, everything's fine. They're there, they're engaged, and they're giving you just enough to keep you around. But the moment they no longer need your support, your time, or whatever it is you provide, they vanish. Just like that. No explanation, no closure. It's like you're suddenly invisible. Now here's the tough truth. It's not that they don't care about you. It's that they never really invested in you for you. They were invested in what they could get from you. They were looking for a resource, whether it was emotional energy, advice, or support. As soon as they drained what they needed, they moved on. Here's the key takeaway. Don't let people treat you like a resource. You're not someone's emotional outlet or their backup plan. True connections are not transactional. Real relationships aren't based on what you can give, but on mutual respect and care. If someone is only around when they need something from you, it's time to recognize the signs and stop chasing them. Think about it. How many times have you found yourself reaching out to someone who only answers when they need something? Does it feel like a true connection? Or does it feel like you're just a tool they use when they're in need? So how do you respond? Here's the answer. Recognize the signs. Pay attention to patterns. If someone consistently shows up only when they want something from you and vanishes once they've gotten it, stop chasing after them. You deserve more than that. You deserve connections where both sides contribute and support each other, not just a one-sided transaction. When you stop chasing people who only show up when they need you, you free yourself up for real connections. You create space in your life for those who truly value you, not just for what you can offer them. And trust me, those are the relationships that will fill your life with meaning, joy, and fulfillment. Now that we've explored that, let's talk about something else that can cause people to pull away. Outside influences. Sometimes it's not even about you, it's about what other people are saying. Let's dive into that next. You're freak. They're influenced by others. All right, let's talk about another reason why people might suddenly start ignoring you. They're influenced by others. Have you ever noticed that someone's attitude towards you can shift overnight? One day they're warm, friendly, and everything feels just fine. The next day they're distant, cold, and uninterested. You're left wondering, what happened? What changed? Well, here's the hard truth. Nothing changed about you. The only thing that shifted was the mind of someone who allowed outside opinions to dictate their view of you. Maybe someone else planted a seed of doubt in their mind, whether it was gossip, a rumor, or something they heard from someone else. You see, some people are quick to change their attitudes based on what others say without ever coming to you to ask the truth. And here's the kicker. That's not your fault. It's a reflection of their own weakness, not your value. Have you ever been in a situation where you heard someone had been talking about you behind your back? They were told something untrue or out of context, and instead of confronting you directly, they let those lies influence their opinion of you. And just like that, the bond starts to fade. They become distant, and you can't help but wonder, what did I do? Well, here's the thing. When someone allows outside influences, like gossip or someone else's opinion, to dictate their perception of you, it shows that their loyalty wasn't as strong as you thought. True loyalty doesn't waver based on external noise. So what's the best way to handle this? Don't engage with people who are easily swayed by others. If someone is quick to believe rumors without coming to you for the truth, then they were never really in your corner to begin with. And here's where the Stoic wisdom comes in. You have power over your mind, not over what others say or think. Instead of wasting your energy trying to change their minds or defend yourself, focus on your own integrity. Focus on your own virtue. Live in a way that's true to who you are, not based on what others think or say. When you stop trying to control how others perceive you, you take back your peace. You stop giving weight to people who lack discernment or don't care enough to seek the truth from you directly. Instead, you stand firm in your values and let the right people see you for who you really are. So what's the takeaway here? Don't waste your time defending yourself against those who are committed to misunderstanding you. Stay true to yourself and let those who value you for your integrity, character, and honesty come into your life. Because the truth will always shine through, and the ones who are meant for you will recognize that. Now let's move on to something else. Have you ever felt like someone started distancing themselves the moment you stopped tolerating their manipulation? That's coming up next. Or you've stopped playing by their rules. Let's move on to another reason why someone might suddenly pull away. You've stopped playing by their rules. Now, here's something that might hit close to home. Some people in your life may have gotten used to manipulating situations to get what they want. And I'm not just talking about big, obvious manipulations. Sometimes it's more subtle. Guilt trips, passive-aggressive comments, or controlling how you think, act, or even feel. These people rely on getting their way by controlling the relationship. But here's the thing. The moment you stop tolerating that behavior, they may start to fade away. It's not because you did something wrong. It's because they can no longer manipulate you the way they used to. Think about it. Have you ever had someone act distant after you set a boundary? Maybe you stopped agreeing with them all the time, or you didn't give in to their emotional pressure. Suddenly, they're pulling away, treating you like you've changed, when in reality, you've simply stopped allowing them to control you. It's like they were playing a game where the rules were stacked in their favor. As long as you kept following their lead, everything was fine. But the moment you stood your ground, the moment you stopped reacting how they wanted, they became distant. Why? Because they could no longer manipulate the situation. They were losing their power over you. But here's the powerful truth. When you stop tolerating manipulation, you take back your power. You stop giving them the ability to control your emotions or your actions. And yes, it might be uncomfortable at first, especially if they've been used to calling the shots. But the moment you stop justifying your actions to them, you'll notice something incredible. You become free. So what should you do when this happens? Stand firm in your values. Don't apologize for setting boundaries. Don't justify your choices. And don't give in to guilt. Let go of people who need to control you. If they're not willing to respect you as an equal, if they can't accept your boundaries or your changes, then it's time to let them go. You deserve people in your life who see you as an equal and who respect your autonomy. It's tempting to think that losing these people is a setback. But honestly, it's a blessing. Because real connections, those that are based on mutual respect, love, and understanding, don't require manipulation or control. They thrive on honesty, trust, and equality. And when you make room by letting go of toxic relationships, you open the door for healthier, more fulfilling ones. Now, this can be tough, especially when the person pulls away after you stop playing by their rules. But this next reason why people might ignore you goes a bit deeper. It has to do with your success. Let's dive into that next. Number 5, they feel intimidated by your growth. Let's talk about something that many of us experience, but often don't realize until it's too late. Some people pull away because they're intimidated by your growth. Now, this might sound a bit strange, right? You'd think that people would want to see you succeed, that they'd celebrate your achievements, right? But the truth is, as you grow and progress, some people start feeling uncomfortable. Not because you've done anything wrong, but because your success forces them to confront their own insecurities. Have you ever noticed that the more you achieve, the more some people seem to distance themselves? At first, they were there, rooting for you, cheering you on. But once you start hitting new milestones, whether it's at work, in your personal life, or even just achieving personal growth, they start pulling away. And you might think, why? What did I do? But the reality is your success highlights something for them that they may not be ready to face, their own stagnation. Your growth, instead of inspiring them, becomes a reminder of what they're not doing with their own life. And that can be uncomfortable. Think about it. Have you ever felt like someone started acting differently as soon as you leveled up in life? Maybe you got a new job, improved your health, or started achieving things you'd been working toward for a while. And suddenly that person who used to support you becomes distant. They might even start criticizing you, downplaying your success, or making excuses about why they're not moving forward in their own life. It's not about you, it's about them. So what should you do when this happens? Never shrink yourself to make others comfortable. That's the key. Never downplay your success just to make someone else feel better about where they are. Your growth is not an attack on anyone. It's a reflection of your hard work, your discipline, and your determination. And here's the truth. The right people will rise with you. Those who truly support you won't feel threatened by your success. They'll be inspired by it. They'll push you higher, and you'll push them higher in return. But the ones who retreat, who feel uncomfortable seeing you succeed, let them go. Because their inability to handle your growth is a reflection of their own internal struggles, not yours. So if you ever feel like you're losing people as you move forward in life, don't take it personally. Instead, take it as a sign that you're moving in the right direction. The people who belong in your life, the ones who are meant to walk with you on your journey, will be the ones who cheer for you, even when you're reaching heights that scare them. Keep growing, keep pushing forward, because when you do, you'll discover that the right people will rise with you, and they'll help you get even further than you ever imagined. Now let's talk about something else that happens when you stop tolerating toxic behavior, when you start recognizing someone's true nature. It's a powerful realization, and I'm excited to dive into that with you next. 6, you've exposed their true nature. Let's dive into something that's both empowering and a little uncomfortable. You've exposed their true nature. You see, when you stop tolerating dishonesty, manipulation, or selfish behavior, something remarkable happens. The mask starts to slip. You begin to see people for who they really are. And while this can be liberating for you, it can be incredibly difficult for them to handle. Because once someone's true nature is revealed, they're left with two choices: change or leave. And here's the truth. Most people choose to leave. It's not because you did anything wrong. It's because they can't face the reality of who they are when the truth is brought to light. They've been using half-truths, manipulation, and even deception to maintain control. But the moment you see through it, their entire foundation crumbles. Have you ever been in a situation where you started to notice small lies or manipulative behavior from someone you trusted? Maybe it started off small, but over time, you began to see patterns of dishonesty or manipulation. Maybe it was subtle, like someone constantly taking advantage of your kindness or giving you the cold shoulder when they didn't get their way. And then one day you finally see through it. You realize they're not being honest with you. You realize they're not showing up for you like they claimed. And when you confront them, what happens? They either deny it, get defensive, or pull away because they can't face the truth. Now here's the important part. Don't regret seeing the truth. Yes, it might hurt. It might feel like a betrayal, especially if this person was someone you truly cared about. But you know what? Seeing the truth is a gift. It may be uncomfortable in the moment, but it's far better than living a lie. When you see someone's true nature, don't feel guilty or ashamed for noticing it. Stand firm in your integrity. If they choose to walk away, let them. It's not about you. It's about their inability to accept who they really are. So what should you do when this happens? The answer is simple. Let go of those who can't handle honesty. You deserve people in your life who are willing to be transparent, authentic, and genuine. People who are secure enough in themselves to accept the truth, even if it's uncomfortable. When you stand firm in your values and refuse to tolerate manipulation or dishonesty, you create space for real, authentic connections to flourish. And the people who leave, they were never meant to be in your life in the first place. Remember this, the truth doesn't destroy real relationships. It only destroys false ones. So stand tall in your integrity. Let the truth guide you and know that the right people will appreciate you for who you truly are. And those who can't handle the truth, let them go. Because in the end, you're better off without them. Now that we've talked about facing the truth, let's discuss something else that may cause people to pull away. Their fear of being replaced or losing control. That's up next, and trust me, it's something we all need to consider. 7, it's a blessing in disguise. Now this one might sound a bit counterintuitive at first, but hear me out. Being ignored or abandoned can actually be a blessing in disguise. I know. It stings. It hurts when someone you care about suddenly pulls away, leaving you feeling unwanted or questioning what went wrong. But here's something important to remember. Sometimes being ignored isn't the loss we think it is. In fact, it can often be the clearing of space. Space for better relationships, new opportunities, and people who will truly value you for who you are. Let's be honest, being ignored or abandoned is painful. You feel rejected, like you're not good enough, or like you've lost something important. It's natural to want to chase after the person who's pulling away, to try and fix it, to ask why, or what did I do wrong? But here's the shift in perspective that can change everything. What if this is happening for a reason? What if this person pulling away is making room for someone better to enter your life? Think about it. In life, we often hold on to people or situations that aren't really serving us. We hold on to relationships that are one-sided, unbalanced, or simply not right for us. And when they walk away, when they ignore us or abandon us, it can feel like a loss. But in reality, it's the universe's way of saying, it's time to make room for something better. Just like a garden in autumn shedding its dead leaves, we sometimes have to let go of what's no longer helping us grow. The trees don't mourn the falling leaves. They know that it's simply part of the cycle of life. And you should look at your situation the same way. When someone walks away or ignores you, they were never meant to stay. They were just part of your journey, not your destination. Instead of feeling hurt or rejected, try to see it for what it really is, a clearing, a space being made for the right people to come into your life. Those who will truly value you, who will stay even when there's nothing to gain from you. The people who will be there not because of what you can provide, but because of who you are. You might be thinking, but what about the pain of being ignored? What about feeling unwanted? Yes, it's painful, but here's the secret. Being ignored by the wrong people is a blessing. It gives you clarity. It helps you see who truly values you, and it allows you to focus your energy on those relationships that matter. And let me give you a powerful example. Think about someone like Albert Einstein. Early in his career, he was ignored and even ridiculed by many in the scientific community. But instead of chasing validation from those who dismissed him, he kept going, stayed true to his path, and eventually, the world couldn't ignore him anymore. The right people, the right opportunities, and the recognition all found him when he stopped seeking approval from those who didn't value him. So what do you do when someone pulls away? Be grateful. Be grateful for the clarity that these situations provide. It may be uncomfortable now, but in the long run, it's creating space for the right people and the right opportunities to enter your life. Let go of those who leave because they weren't meant to stay in the first place. Keep moving forward with your life. Keep growing. Keep rising. Because the ones who are meant to be with you, they'll stay, and they'll help you go even further than you imagined. Now that we've talked about why being ignored can be a blessing, Let's dive into something else. How to handle the truth when it hits you. You'll want to stick around for this, as it could completely shift the way you view your relationships. So let's wrap this up. We've talked about a lot of important things today, right? Why people pull away, why they ignore you, and how to handle those moments with grace and strength. And here's the key takeaway. Don't take it personally. When people distance themselves from you, it's often not a reflection of your worth. It's more about their own struggles, needs, or insecurities. What's important is to understand the real reason behind their actions. When you can see that, you stop questioning yourself. You stop feeling like there's something wrong with you. Instead, you can use that insight to grow stronger. You have the power to choose how their actions affect you. Now, I know it's not always easy. It's tough when people you care about start pulling away. But when you embrace the Stoic wisdom that says you cannot control what others do, but you can control how you respond, you start to realize that their behavior doesn't have to dictate your emotional state. One of the core principles of Stoicism is to not rely on external validation. We don't need the approval or attention of others to feel good about ourselves. True strength lies in maintaining your integrity, regardless of how others treat you. When you stop depending on someone else's attention to feel valuable, you stand firm in your own worth. And here's something powerful. The absence of certain people in your life might actually be a blessing. Think about it. Every time someone pulls away or fades from your life, they're making space for someone who will truly value you for who you are, not just for what you can provide them. So when someone walks away, instead of grieving the loss, be grateful for the opportunity to make room for better, more fulfilling connections. Remember, your value is intrinsic. It's not tied to anyone's presence or absence in your life. Stay true to yourself, trust your journey, and know that the right people will come along when the time is right. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the True Stoic Way channel for more insights on living a life of strength, resilience, and self-mastery. I'd love to hear about your own experiences. Have you ever faced someone distancing themselves from you? How did you handle it? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your stories help build this community, and we can all learn from each other's journeys. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, personal growth is a lifelong journey. Keep learning, keep growing, and I'll see you in the next video.